Hi everyone, this is Marianne and welcome to my channel. I have just finished printing out my daily pages for October 24 through November 6, 2022, which is 2 weeks worth of daily pages. The rainbow colored inserts that you can see me going through are my pages for my 24-hour time tracking. I have a couple of videos about this on my YouTube channel and I will link them in the description box. These are from October 24 through November 6. Now, these pages will be cut down to size later on, and the finished size will be this entire colored area. The color is actually the border, and that will also be my cutting guide for later. I have videos in my channel as well showing how I cut these pages down to their final size, and I will link a couple of them down below. Basically, they will all end up looking like this. These are inserted in between my day on 2 pages. And at the back of all of these is a space where I can write down some notable thoughts and ideas for the day. And at the bottom, I list down my expenses for the day. So this is how the rainbow colored sheets will look when cut down to final size, hole punched, and then placed on the discs. I also have here my actual day on 2 pages. These are still not in the proper order because I still have to cut them down to the final size, which is the A5 Slim. The A5 Slim is the height of the A5 and the width of the personal. So it is 210 millimeters tall by 95 millimeters wide. Now here you can see, I hope you can see that there is a very fine, a very light gray colored border around the layout. And this is my guide for cutting down the pages into their final size, which, like I said, is A5 Slim. Now, if we take a ruler and measure the height of the cutting guide, you can see that it is exactly 210 millimeters. My ruler is in centimeters, so you can see 21, but if we convert that to millimeters, that is 210 millimeters. You can barely see on camera, but I can see just fine in person. And the measurement of the width of the border or the cutting guide is exactly 95 millimeters or 9.5 centimeters. But I do not print on A5 sized paper. Instead, I print on half letter sized paper, which is 8.5 inches tall and 5.5 inches wide. And not only do I print on half letter sized paper, I also have created the layout on half letter size. Let me show you. I use the software called Pages. It came with my Mac and it always comes with the Mac. And let me just show you the paper size that I used for the layout. This is the half letter in centimeters. I had to make a custom page size for the half letter on the Pages software. Here is the half letter as a custom size, and these are the exact measurements in centimeters. Pages always converts everything to centimeters on this particular panel. Now let me show you what happens if I print my A5 Slim planner pages on A5 sized paper. But first, let us make a layout for this one page, but let us use the A5 paper size. And then let us copy this and then paste it onto the A5. And then let us just turn on my rulers here so the design can snap into the borders of the page and on the center of the page. You can see that the height of the entire design fits exactly in the height of the paper. Both the design and the paper are now A5 height. Now let us also do a sample layout of the tracking sheet on this same file, which has the A5 paper size. I will just open the file for the tracking, which is also on half letter, and then copy the content of this one page, paste it onto the file that is A5 sized. And as you can see, the height of the design also aligns automatically with the height of the paper. Both the design and the paper are now both A5 height. Okay, so now let us print these. I have taken one sheet of A4 paper, cut it down in half to make two sheets of A5. And just to make sure, let us measure. The width is 148 millimeters and the height is 210 millimeters, which is the dimensions of the standard A5. And finally, here is the sample print on A5 sized paper. As you can see, this particular page printed just fine. The height is exact and correct because the layout is in A5, the design is in A5, and I printed on A5 paper. But as you can see here, the cutting guide has been cut off a teeny tiny bit at the top and a teeny tiny bit at the bottom. And that is fine, really. It is actually easier for me to cut because there is no excess at the top and at the bottom that I have to cut. I just have to cut off the sides, so that's fine. But when we get to this sheet, you can see where the problem is. The top part and the bottom part of the design is not printed on the paper. And the reason why this happens is that my printer cannot print borderless. There will always be about 4 centimeters of the edge of the paper all around, top, bottom, left, right, that the printer will never print on regardless of what is on the file. So that is a natural behavior of all printers that are not equipped to print borderless. And this is why I print my A5 slim sized planner pages on half letter paper instead of A5 paper. It's because I need to adjust to the limitations of the printer that I have. Of course, I can just print this page on A5 sized paper and do the easy cutting afterwards, and then print this colored one on half letter paper. But that is an additional thing for me to think about, that's not a streamlined process at all. So it's just easier, so much easier for me, for my brain, and it's so much more practical for my process to just print both kinds of pages on half letter paper. With this process that I am using, I get really good results and I am happy with it. See, it's worth it. So if your printer cannot print borderless, but you want your design to be printed all the way until the edge of the paper, like these, this is a solution that I can suggest for you. And I know that in some of my previous videos, I did mention in one sentence why I print on half letter, but I never really got to explain and demonstrate. And a couple of people have been asking. So that's why I made this video. I hope you like this, and I hope you were able to get some helpful ideas on how to create borderless printouts using a printer that cannot print borderless. Thanks for watching. Bye.